everyone, and thanks for joining us on episode 2 of Ask Me Anything About FinOps. Let's dive right in. Ronnie, in the previous episode, we talked about what FinOps was and why it's important today. Do you think cloud will remain as important going into the future?
Oh, yes, for sure. Cloud really fuels innovation. It takes away a lot of operational overhead that you don't need to deal with anymore, right? Because unless you are a Google, technology won't be your primary business. So now taking that point further and bringing it back to what's really hot today is around generative AI. If you look at the last 6 months, that has taken the world by storm, right? We talk about Bard from Google and large language models. So there's a lot of interest and excitement around the potential of the technology. Now, if I look at why cloud continues to be important, right, this is exactly it. If you look at any organization wanting to adopt or embrace generative AI, if they're going to build this themselves, they require a lot of skills and expertise. They require the right infrastructure, the tech stack, the architecture, and they need the right tools. Right? If you look at what's available to anyone today, for you to build something like this, at least another 6 months, if not more. Why do I say that? Infrastructure, the availability of GPUs for that matter, right? That has a supply chain challenge that everyone is trying to contend or deal with today. So if you ask me, I think cloud will continue to be important because of the pace of technology and the innovation that we are seeing from now and beyond, right? Maybe even in the next 10 years.
Yeah, you're completely right. And especially on the topic of AI, I think there's question as to which part of the AI value chain and supply chain people want to work in. And there's not that much capacity to the foundational infrastructure stuff here. But in Southeast Asia, there's a lot of opportunity on the application side, but you don't necessarily want to go back and kind of rebuild your own foundational model necessarily. Those are things you want to outsource. And then I think there's also this conception out there that FinOps is really for much larger, more established companies, when your cloud spend is astronomical. Is that true? Which teams do you think should be thinking about FinOps, and who is FinOps really for?
To that question, I would say FinOps is for anyone, any organization that wants to start, or I would say has decided on a strategy around cloud being the technology stack of choice. When you start embracing cloud, that's where you start to think about, okay, how do I ensure I spend it on the right technology? How do I ensure I spend it on the right business use cases to yield the value? And a good starting point for any organization would be focus on the technical aspects. That means, for example, doing very simple things like tagging and labeling. For example, can I tag a particular set of resources as UAT and tests? So once you start to tag and then align the resources to the tagging, you'll be able to rationalize and provide that first visibility that you need in a very manual way. And as you mature, you introduce tooling and automation in that path.
So where should people go if they're ready to start to implement cloud FinOps into their business?
Well, I would always say Google is a good place to start. And first of all, there's a lot of tools, products, resources, and data that we can bring in to help you understand to start you on your cloud journey. And we also have our services organization who are always on hand to be able to give you the advisory around how you should be looking at your cloud spend and start on your journey on FinOps.
Amazing. We will put all that information in the description below. Ronnie, thanks so much for joining us today and demystifying FinOps. And thank you to everyone at home for watching. We hope you've taken away something about cloud FinOps and how to implement it in your business.
Yeah, thanks, Maria. Thanks for taking time. Enjoy the conversation, and I hope all the listeners and viewers out there get something useful from us.